Welcome to Fort Fritz episode 27. I am your host, Fritz, joined as always by Mandaddy.
Hi.
Kaz.
Hello.
Angela.
Hello.
And Nick Spry.
Howdy.
I'm going to let you in on a little warning. If you have any kind of ideas about how the dead are going to take control of your life as you're still living, turn this one off. You ain't going to want to listen to this one. You're listening to Fort Fritz. Thanks for listening.
Confuse him right off the bat.
Yeah, best disclaimer ever.
I don't want the dead to take me over.
So you better listen
Well,
up.
I guess.
Should I not listen because I don't, or do I?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, what's the answer to that question, Main Daddy? Because we've been stuck on this highway for 4 hours now.
Well, I mean, it's I-4, and it's the ultimate I-4 project, so of course it's going to be ultimately horrible. We've been out here for about at least an hour and a half now. We can't get our Mr. Machine Mach 2 to even start.
It doesn't even look like anything's blocking the road up there. It just looks like just people have
Stops
parked.
people, yeah.
We can just drive past them.
Just a
Real,
parking lot.
final destination, if you know what I mean.
Yuck.
Okay, wait,
I can't believe I left the house with you guys.
Are we just going to sit here? I mean, are we going to try to walk to somewhere? Or, I mean, we got all this recording equipment set up on the side of the road. I guess we're just going to go with it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been setting this up for the past hour and a half. I mean, obviously, let's just start recording a podcast because we're overdue anyway.
Yeah, well, I hope
And
the
that
traffic-
is on me. Just the past couple of podcasts, you might say, hey, Fort Fritz, that podcast didn't land on Domingo or Sabado. Hey, that's on me, you know what I mean? If I get Viernes, I'm happy. We have literally nothing going on.
Yeah, it's really boring.
It's
We
just,
have a board
Let's
game
just pop
set up
on
in front of us.
Let's pop on some tunes.
Yeah, man.
let's
Just
do
turn
that,
on the
man.
radio. Let's turn on the
Let's
radio.
jam up a little bit.
Let's go blast an old school. Get on those FM radios. Let's get it. Let's do the airwaves.
What do you guys want to listen to?
Classic rock, yeah.
No.
Damn it, you're right.
Nobody wants to listen to
You're
that.
right. You're right. I completely agree.
Stairway-
with you.
Stairway to Heaven?
Boring.
No.
No.
What a
Stairway to
ripoff.
Heaven is a song, and man, Daddy, you can back me up. Everyone says they love it. Nobody listens to it.
You just don't need to hear it anymore. You just don't
Thank
need to hear it
you.
anymore. It's like
Turn it off.
if you want to listen to Stairway to Heaven, close your eyes and you can go through the entire song in your head and
Musical
don't annoy
masterpiece.
anyone else with it.
It's a musical masterpiece.
It is, but it's just overplayed.
So, obviously, nobody wants to have fun because you guys are nerding out now.
Whatever.
About classic rock.
We're having a little music discussion. Let's pop on the radio, see what we can.
I got Travel Boggle.
I vote radio.
Yeah, I'm all about radio. Let's just.
Boring.
You don't need a soundtrack to your Boggle?
No, I don't.
What are you, heartless? You
Yes.
soulless guys?
Flip it on, Kaz. Flip it on. Put it on your favorite jams, man.
right,
Give
here
us some
we go.
jammy jam.
Sure, yeah. Let me just pop on. We'll do some WPRK. What do you guys think? That's a solid choice, right?
Yeah.
That's basement radio. I hear.
Awesome.
Eclectic.
Plug.
What? Is it broken? Like, do you hear anything?
Is that not coming through?
Maybe it's just because we're too far away.
Yeah.
We're pretty
We're
close to it.
we'll try
like
it.
Sanford area. We're not. Yeah, it's hard to pick it up there.
Wait.
Angela, it seems like we're in a weird spot on I-4.
He's
Is
not
this
happy
normal?
about being here.
Are we south of the St. Johns River? Are we in
I
Sanford?
don't know what south means. If
Yeah, I'm
that's
not
Oh
into
my
those
God.
things.
Direction.
north
Left,
or
right is
east.
the best I can do.
Is anyone's cell phone working?
Wait, let me check.
Look
Oh,
here.
I always got the bars. Always no.
Nope.
No, I always drink at bars. I'm sorry. No, my phone is completely dead. I get those confused.
I don't
You
have
know,
any.
guys, do you know where we're at?
No.
No.
We're in the dead zone.
Wait, the what? The what?
Wait, we're in a movie with Christopher Walken? This is
We
awesome.
already covered this.
No, we're in the I-4 dead zone. The I-4 dead zone is a quarter-mile section on I-4 at the south end of the interstate bridge across the St. Johns River, said to be haunted and the site of up to 1,700 car crashes since the interstate opened in 1963.
Holy shit. 1,700 car crashes?
Most of these crashes being fatal.
Most.
And this is at St. John's and what?
This is in
St.
Sanford.
John's and I-4.
Yeah, St. John's and I-4. South,
corner.
the south end. Because honestly, I-4,
Weird.
most of it is north and south.
Yeah.
Can we be
Yeah.
honest?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Can we be
yeah.
honest about that?
One of the first annoying things
East,
about I-4
west,
that you
yeah, it
realize is
doesn't-
that, east-west doesn't mean anything. That goes north and south.
Yeah.
Correct. But why are these crashes fatal? Is it crappy design, or is it because the highway was built on a grave
Ooh. In the river?
River
right
grave.
next to the river?
Oh, no.
The city of Sanford was established in 1877. Before it was known to have a quaint downtown area and rumors of Lady Gaga moving there.
As every small town.
As
got
every
hit.
yes.
Yeah, everyone.
So before, It was known to have the quaint downtown. It was a small Roman Catholic colony called St. Joseph's, inhabited by European settlers, mostly consisting of Swedish and German immigrants. After the original inhabitants, the Mayaka Native American tribe, was killed off by war and disease.
Ugh.
Like all of America.
Yeah, like all of America.
Eventually.
You love the jerseys. I love the jerseys.
What?
You know,
So
the
those
Swedish
are the
settlers saying
original
that
immigrants.
proclaim the words of jerseys.
Where you paying them, or you Kurt?
There it is. I have a jersey down the street.
1887, 10 years after the colony was established, a devastating fire broke out, which destroyed most of the settlement, which had become a big leader in the citrus industry. Shortly after the fire, a terrible epidemic of yellow fever took over the colony and wiped out an entire family of German immigrants.
Ooh.
These 4 deceased family members were buried in the woods north of the railroad in fear of the disease spreading further. Because the priests had also fallen to the disease, there was no one there to read them their last rites, and they were laid to rest without a ceremony. No family gatherings, and no absolution. These horrible events of St. Joseph's led to the fall of the colony, and shortly thereafter, the colony just ceased to exist.
Wow.
Almost 20 years later, when the colony site was absorbed by the Lake Monroe Township, a man named Albert Hawkins bought the land for farming. When the 4 graves were discovered, he created a little cemetery in respect for the dead and farmed around it. It looked like a little island in the middle of the field. A medium who lived in the community referred to it as the Field of Dead and warned people not to mess with the graves. So this guy bought the land,
Right.
realized there were graves there,
Yeah.
built a little cemetery, and just farmed around it.
Is it
Just try to
dirt?
respect it.
Yeah,
He's trying
just
to
like,
get all those precious nitrates out of that cemetery.
actually, I bet it was
The
great
best-
fertilizer.
Yeah, totally.
for
The
sure.
best corn was
Yeah,
like right
ever.
around there.
Dead corn.
I don't think they grow corn.
Blue ribbon okra.
This is super nerdy, but if you're a vegan, your
Is that
body
vegan?
will secrete like vegan things and you can grow more.
Wait, what? Yeah,
I don't know if it was word. I just think it's inaccurate.
No, it's
While
not
you're
at
still
all.
alive?
See, that's why I exclusively eat vegan people.
No.
That way, you know, I'm getting
You
all
get
the
their
nutrients, and I'm
nutrients.
still getting the delicious meat.
Makes sense.
You're not going to get a bunch of like antibiotics or hormones you don't need. You're
Thank
right.
you.
You're right.
Just look up vegan poop. Hashtag Fritz.
Find a whole gallery out there.
Thank you.
So when Albert Hawkins passed in 1939, his widow continued to own the land until 1960, when it was purchased by the state to build our favorite superhighway to Tampa. I-4.
I-4 nightmare.
Before that, though, it was the biggest road was the Old Dixie Highway, right?
I believe so.
Into Orlando,
Yeah,
which
yes.
is what Edgewater Drive now is part of, and I think the Old Cheney Highway
Really?
alongside
Yeah.
Colonial was also part of it.
Old Cheney.
Is there any other type of Cheney?
I mean, Dick Cheney was old when he went into office.
Yeah,
so, you know,
that's true.
don't-
See, we could do
I
an
only
entire
know Old
scary
Cheney.
episode
It's-
just about Dick Cheney. And that would be all our fans would be like, okay, that was too scary. Don't talk about stuff like that again.
So after the state bought the land, the state surveyors identified the graves but did not remove them. Instead, they were just covered up with dirt to elevate the new highway.
This was before Poltergeist came out, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait.
They just moved the headstones!
1960, yeah.
Oof.
So instead, they were covered with dirt, and at this time, Hurricane Donna had already passed over South Florida and was heading into the Gulf. But when the construction started over the graves, Donna made an eerie turn and headed straight into Central Florida.
Timely story, Angela!
Via the new interstate's path. So she came right back through Tampa and right through Central Florida. It was the worst storm to hit Central Florida in a century, and this was 1960, and caused horrible flooding, which halted the construction of the highway for several months.
Par for the course as far as that highway's concerned.
Yep.
Oh, no,
Absolutely.
stress relief.
Does this explain the, when you're trying to get on 408 from I-4, they were just like, just put it together however you need to, whatever, make everyone who's going...
There's only one lane. It's
Yeah,
the right
just-
lane. It's the turn lane and the
Yeah.
go forward lane.
It's
like
terrible.
It's like a
The merge
butterfly
lane.
loop around.
Like the civil engineer who designed it was also the co-designer of bumper pool tables.
Yep.
Yes, yeah.
He's like, just bounce one off that shit off the other shit. Yeah, it's good.
Then you're on that 4, east or
Then
west.
it's
You don't
boom,
care.
boom in the hole. You're good. You score.
Awful. It is said that the eye of the storm of Hurricane Donna passed over the graves that midnight.
Wow.
And people in the area believe that the construction and disruption of the dead caused the storm to make that drastic turn, and the curse began.
It was the beginning of the curse.
The beginning of the curse.
Oh, no.
In 2004, when more work was being done on that section of the highway, Hurricane Charlie, nicknamed the I-4 hurricane, also followed the same path as Hurricane Donna and passed right over the burial site and caused lots of destruction.
Really?
And here we are again in 2017 with lots of work being done on I-4, and we have Hurricane Irma at Category 5 looking like it could come straight for us.
I now hold you personally responsible.
Hey,
Me?
Yes,
It's
I'm
a
sorry.
city
I've got to
planner.
blame someone, and you're right there.
The mayor or something.
just because we're on the side of I-4 doesn't mean anything about the story she's telling. It's just, it happens to be apropos.
That's
Happens.
scary, man.
But it wasn't just awful weather that people talk about.
Oh, God.
Car crashes, ghost sightings, and cell phone signal drops have also been stated here.
No, we can't. We don't
That's
have
why
bars.
we got no bars. We have no
Oh,
bars.
Here it is.
I like
As
that.
I
That's the first
said-
thing you bring up as opposed to the car crashes. You
Yeah.
go, no, I got no juice.
Well, we're not going to
I got no
crash.
juice.
We're
Yeah,
stuck.
we're standing here. We're not going to
on
crash.
Facebook.
I'd rather be dead if I don't have no juice in my
I have
body.
no ability to update my status right now.
I can't do anybody any good if I'm not
How's everyone
Snapchatting.
going to know where we are if
How
we
are they
can't
gonna
tell
know if
them
we're
where
dead?
we are?
Someone could be poking me right now, and I have no idea.
Do people still poke?
No.
I know, it's really weird. I don't
Say
think they
that
do.
so, mean daddy, but yes, also Angela, yes.
Playing both sides of the field, aren't you
Thank
there,
you.
buddy?
Yep,
Nice.
thank you.
As I said
Objective.
before, it has been reported that almost 1,700 car crashes have happened on this site since the interstate opened. On the exact date it opened, a tractor trailer hauling a load of frozen shrimp mysteriously lost control and jackknifed right above the graves.
The dead love shrimp.
They saw it coming and they were like, all right, here we go.
go.
And get spooky, man.
And they got right back in the river.
Jaws of life. It's my Jaws.
Well, I mean, it was the 60s when it opened, so
Oh, I
they
guess,
should have been
yeah.
having some kind of cocktail party. And like, these would be great for my party. Get some shrimp.
Makes sense.
So an analysis which compared this section of I-4 to several other dangerous I-4 sections found that while the dead zone area did not have the highest accident or fatality rate, it did identify that the percentage of fatality to accident was significantly higher in this location.
It's more deadly.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
So if you're going to have an accident here, it's going to be a really bad one.
Why'd she die? Fender bender. I mean, so it's just a fender bender. Yeah, she just exploded.
In the dead zone.
knows?
Just
In the
tapped,
dead zone.
just tapped her
In
back
the
bumper
dead
and just her
zone.
head exploded. It was really weird. I wonder if Michael Fassbender's ever been in a fender bender.
Fast
Fender
bender,
bender.
fender bender. Fast bender, fender bender.
It is Michael, isn't it? No.
Michael.
Yep.
Okay.
The insurance adjuster's just having a paperwork nightmare with that.
No, okay. Was it a Fassbender or was it just a no? It was Michael. Okay.
Was he going fast? Yes, he was going fast. And I had a fender bender with Michael Fassbender going fast. It's really,
You know what? Forget about it.
the paperwork by Theodore
Return to sender.
Geisel.
Today, there are rumors and legends of pioneer ghosts standing by the busy highway at night. Ghostly voices coming over radios, CBs and cell phones and radio stations going dead while crossing the gravesite.
Wow, so even CB banned Citizens Broadcast.
Yes.
That's getting interrupted.
That's what CB stands for?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, man.
So everything.
The more you know.
What did you think it stood for?
Don't worry about it.
No, you actually had
so
some. What
worried
was
about
it?
it.
What was it?
Corey broadcast.
Oh, that's so cute.
Your parents lied to you. I'm sorry.
I know.
It wasn't just you.
It still can, buddy.
I felt so special.
It still can. Sure, I meant that's all a lie. It really does stand for Corey
Thank
Broadcast.
you.
It's better than chicken burgers. That's what I thought it was.
Burgers is radio. Oh, man.
Chicken Burger Radio.
Turn on the chicken burgers. Let's see what's going on in the news.
Makes sense.
Truckers have heard a man's voice on their radios calling out, "Who's there?" Or, and they try to answer back and get no response. Others have heard little girls giggling when talking on their phones as they cross the gravesite. So they're just like on the phone and they just hear like
Giggling.
little girls giggling in their phone.
That's what they do, though. I mean,
It baffles many because there are no radio or cell antennas nearby or TV or radio stations, so no one can explain these weird signal disruptions. So hurricanes that strike when the graves are disturbed, cell phones and radio disruptions when passing over, and numerous car crashes. Could it be payback for disturbing the dead?
So, Angela, are you saying Hurricane Irma might hit this stretch of I-4?
Well,
It could, right?
It could, because we are disrupting these graves. Obviously.
I didn't disrupt anything.
Let's take a little break because I would like to eat a pimento cheese sandwich.
Ooh,
I've
you
packed
made
some
those?
surprises. I have, yes. So let's take a little break, okay? We're still camped out on I-4. Nothing is happening. I think a goat got loose. That's about it.
Wait, where'd the goat come from?
How
He
did
ran
the goat
up.
get in here? Is that a goat man?
Yeah,
no,
he
I
ran,
saw that.
He took exit 48. He ran up the side. Yeah, he saw
Did
the
he
rest
get
of the
his
stuff.
axe? Get his axe?
It was just a regular goat, not a man.
It wasn't a goat man.
No, just a
Oh.
goat.
You're listening to Fort Fritz. Welcome back to Fort Fritz. I am joined, of course, by co-host Man Daddy.
Hi.
Man Daddy, why are we walking, by the way?
Because there's nothing else to do. We've been sitting here because we were trying to play the radio for so long and just getting static. We completely killed the battery, so the car, the van's not going to start at all. And traffic hasn't moved for at least 2 hours now.
Why do we keep walking this way, though, away from the cars? The cars seem to
Yes.
be going that way.
Well, because we need to go a different direction than the cars. We're not like
Oh, okay.
everybody, man.
Okay,
We're going
all
to do
right.
our own things.
Oh, okay.
Also, Kaz,
Yes.
Angela,
Oh, it's hot.
and Nick Spry.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Those guys are still here, too. Hey, guys.
So-
Sorry.
Man Daddy, why are we walking this way again? It seems counterintuitive,
No, just because you notice
get
that all the
anywhere.
vehicles are pointed in one direction, right?
right?
And so, what are we, saps? We're just going to obey the crowd and
Yes.
just go along? So, we're going to go that way.
We've always swam upstream.
Yeah, we're
as,
salmon.
as a collective.
Freaking
Angela
salmon.
and Kaz are playing frisbee with one another. You guys, wow, oh my God.
You really got to kind of get leverage up on these cars and you just get a throw off.
Whoa, they're doing
that was
parkour
amazing.
stuff,
Wow.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was a
is
tough
fun.
one. Caught the updraft.
She did like a backflip catching that one between the legs.
Oh, round of pirouette. Throw.
Whoa!
Oh, Cass got that in his butt cheeks.
How did he do that?
Flexing on them.
Damn.
Flexing.
I was surprised by
Oh
that.
my god! He just threw it with his butt cheeks!
Oh, it's still warm.
She caught it with her teeth.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Wow.
The commitment is amazing!
That is when the game is on fleek.
I watched a lot of that intro to Flight of the Navigator. I learned a lot from those dogs.
Obviously,
yeah.
Jesus Christ. And she just did a backflip and ended it with the judges. Yep, that's a 10.
That's like some parkour
Amazing.
ultimate
What
frisbee.
you do with that one? You
type
throw it
stuff.
up so it's spinning in one place, and you just like do a cartwheel and kick it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's impressive. It's impressive.
I would never, ever.
I feel like we're headed this way just because of the happy hour that they have down at Triple J's. I know Man Daddy knows about this.
I need to know more
We're
about
going to
this.
John's Juice Joint, right? I thought so. Where we were headed to.
Is that okay? Hey, well, I mean, I heard happy hour, so I'm down.
All right, easy,
I'm down.
easy.
All
Old
about it.
Johnny Double
Whoa.
J's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Let's
let's,
three J's.
let's do this. Let's,
All right, that was.
what's
Whoa,
going on,
that
man?
frisbee
Whoa.
is about to wing somebody in the.
Hang on, you guys see that dog over there? I'm gonna chuck it at that dog. Here we
There
go.
we go. Okay, go for it.
Oh, my God.
He's one of those frisbee dogs.
Wait.
I'm one of those frisbee dogs. You throw it, they do like
Stop.
jump in the air.
I'm not gonna throw
Stop.
it at him. I'm gonna throw it for him to catch.
Yeah, and then you
Even
bend down,
I
he jumps
hope
off your
so.
back into it and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, wing it. Let's see
There we
if I
go.
can do
You
it.
see him down there?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Oh, if that dog would choose that frisbee, I'm going to be so
Where did
pissed.
he
Oh,
go?
he's not catching it. He is running straight for us. Wait, there's another dog. There's a black dog too. There's a white dog and a black dog.
Hey, dog, I got it!
Wait, Fritz is no wait.
No!
Fritz is behind him. Wait, Fritz
Oh,
got
this is
it.
gonna go bad.
This
Oh,
always
he's-
ends bad.
It's like the magic frisbee.
Oh, he's riding one of the dogs back here. Oh my god, that's weird.
That is physically possible.
That's a big
Wow.
dog.
Get off that dog.
Wow. He's falling over. Oh, he's tipped over. Oh, the dog is licking him. Out of control of him.
Oh,
That's-
my.
I'm pretty sure the dog's eating him.
No,
I'm pretty
that's
sure the
bad.
dog is eating
That's
him.
bad.
Or mating with him.
I'm still okay with it for some reason.
Wait.
Oh.
It's a big
always-
white dog.
it's
Guys,
always
this might not
funny.
be so bad.
Is it humping
What's
him?
wrong with big white dogs? I used to have a big white dog.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's my foot.
That's what I'm saying. This might not be so bad, guys. Fritz, you okay?
Where did the dog go?
Yeah. Wait.
What just happened?
That dog never licked me like any dog did, and that damn dog licked me good.
Wait, the dog was licking you?
Yeah.
And you're okay with that?
Well, it's a friendly dog.
That didn't seem really friendly.
Yeah,
Seemed more like a
seemed like you were
attempting to
terrified.
devour, but just getting a
It was
taste.
very aggressive.
There was 2 dogs. Did you see that? There was a white dog and a black
I
dog.
see the black dog.
Wait, you mean
kind
like
of
the Led Zeppelin
running
song?
away
I don't
right now?
see color.
Oh.
I don't know how to deal with that, but guys, we might have stumbled onto something big. Those
God.
2 dogs, they might represent something that we don't understand. Have you ever heard of La Leyenda del Codejo?
What does that
Okay.
mean?
What?
The mountain range of
Legend
doggies?
Of El Cadejo.
The Legend of El Codejo.
I was close.
I think
was
I have
close.
that on VHS.
That was starring
The dog.
Danny,
the dog.
Danny Trejo.
Yeah, the
Crispin
dog.
Glover.
Danny Trejo as a teenager.
It's racist.
So those dogs, these are supernatural creatures from the folklore of southern Mexico and Central America. The legend does not really appear much in South American culture. They're almost truly spirit animals that are diametrically opposed in nature, almost in a weird yin and yang sort of way, even with the colors, white and black.
So like evil
and their
good.
behaviors.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly
Balance.
like that. Their form is typically that of a large dog. The largest accounts have it growing to the size of a cow, and
Wow.
sometimes with the hooves of a goat or a deer, but always with burning red eyes.
Oh, all cryptids have burning red eyes, like all of them
Always.
across the board.
Always. And shimmering fur,
Yeah.
and like a very aquiline nose, and other sort of Gregory Peck.
That's
Like
all
a dashing
they're very-
50s movie
yeah,
star.
they're all
Do they
very
have like a,
pecky and-
impeccably
like a
coiffed
very
hair.
distinctive chin?
Yeah, they
All
have
of
one of
them?
those little butts.
Yeah.
in
Chin
their
butts?
Chin butt.
Right. But they sometimes have a fiery link of chains that is linked around one of their legs. This is specifically in lieu to the Black Codejo. This ties into the possible origin of the creature's name. The term is thought of to be derived from the Spanish word cadena, which means chain. This may also refer to these animals' spirit, how they're inextricably linked and connected to one another. In El Salvador, specifically, the Codejo has deer-like hooves, and it moves and behaves like that of a deer as well. Generally, the legend concerns those traveling at night. It also has a penchant for drunk travelers.
Of course.
Oh, that's why they're here.
Soft
Thumbs
targets.
down.
Right. Easy. The white Codejo will appear to them as both a harbinger and a protector. An event of evil nature will befall this traveler, but they don't need to fear because the white Codejo will protect them from any ill intention or attack.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah, sounds like we're good to go then.
Yeah.
Sounds like a fucking
Set up.
manipulator. Like, hey, look, you're gonna shit your pants, but don't worry,
I got you.
I'm right here.
It's like
plenty of
protection.
weapons.
It's like Codejo
Yeah.
protection, like
What
a
does that
gangster.
mean?
They show up, they're like,
kind of a weird toxic
not
relationship.
for nothing, but something bad's gonna happen, and if you believe in me, the white Codejo, then maybe it won't be so bad for you when it happens.
So there are some possible creation stories that go to say that the white Codejo was formed and given life by God himself because he
course.
sympathized with humanity's overwhelming plight, that they had too many problems. So he sent down the Codejo to basically protect them and alleviate their worries somewhat.
So if the white Codejo was sent from God, correct?
Yes.
What would the black Codejo be sent by?
Basically, there are 3 different categories for the Black Codejo. It's purported to haunt lonely roads and graveyards and is known for its pervading stench of sulfur and concentrated urine.
Concentrated urine.
Yeah, like-
Not just your normal urine.
No,
There's
like
some
you've
special urine right
been
here.
drinking
You gotta
nothing
mix
but
with
Mountain
water
Dew
to
Code
get rid of
Red
it.
for a week, and you've been saving it up.
It's like black.
It
comes
is
out
like
black.
it looks like apple cider when it's coming
It's like
out,
the
and
Fifth
it's
Element,
just as
like the stuff
viscous.
leaking off of
Right.
like Gary
Yes.
Oldman's head.
It's like
It's got viscosity to it.
it's like tapping a tree sap sort of deal there. that you
Delicious.
got, right?
Delicious.
And you have well water.
Yeah. Like I was saying, on the other end of the spectrum is the Codejo Negro. It is wholly malevolent and may attack travelers on their journey within its reach or influence one's decisions, leading a person to make choices that will ultimately lead them into ruin. They may also employ a curse onto the individual, forever bringing a life of misfortune and misery. And like I was saying, there are 3 different distinctions for the Black Codejo. The least worrisome of the three differentiations is the progeny of a normal dog and a Cadejo. This is a hybrid that's mortal.
It's a toy Cadejo.
Yeah, you know.
A teacup Cadejo.
Cadejito.
Oh, that's a good band name.
No, we actually never
Cadejo.
played with them.
Yeah, not even in Tampa.
I know, we tried. They would never accept our gigs.
So this hybrid is mortal, and it can be killed, albeit with great difficulty. They are extremely strong and powerful. And the site that I actually was researching this with said that you have to remember that many people in these rural areas, they travel alone at night with machetes. So when they say it's very difficult to kill, that's with a machete.
All right.
Make some work. Little elbow grease.
Yeah, this particular creature does not bite its victims, but prods and nuzzles them with its snout, and eventually drives them into madness. Not necessarily in that moment, but could be after that encounter.
A nuzzle-based madness.
Yeah, nuzzle madness.
He nuzzles me into insanity.
But it consumes entirely its victims, and people refer to this as, my pronunciation might be bad on this, lo jugo el cadejo, or translating to
juice.
something as, but...
The juice of the Cadejo.
Literally, it
Right.
means,
Chain juice.
it means the coconut water.
But when you're speaking,
Like
but when you're
blood.
speaking in conversation, they refer to it as that you were handled by the Cadejo, or that you were abused by the Cadejo. And this phrase is also applied
Juiced
to
by the Cadejo.
You were juiced by the Cadejo. But it's also applied to people that were born with mental illness. You'll say, he has the jugo de Cadejo.
Oh.
The second form of the Black Cadejo is the spirit animal, which is most widely known, and that's this mysterious, malevolent canine. This creature,
I've been asking about that canine.
it draws out its prey with sounds as they are traveling, trying to freak them out and distract them.
I don't like it. I don't like
Come
it.
here.
And once
Hey,
it has their attention,
Hey, boy.
Kaz,
Hey,
Kaz, stop it.
hey,
hey, white boy.
once it has them enwrapped in something else, it jumps out of their hiding spot and attacks them. That is, if the white Cadejo is not around. The final and most terrifying form of the Black Cadejo is also that of a dog. But this is the animal that has been transformed from Satan himself into an animal.
Not one of his apprentices or one of his
Nope,
interns.
it's him. But he doesn't really get that involved. He's a very hands-off. He's micromanaging because this particular form of the Cadejo will never actually attack a human. It oversees.
It just wrecks
Yeah,
your
It
life.
has, quote-unquote, the eyes of evil.
The project manager.
Yes, yeah. He wants those TPS
He
reports.
gets everyone in. He makes sure everyone knows what they're going to be doing, what the budget is.
I love how Beelzebub himself goes, how can I really make an impact? Oh yeah, I'll go out to a specific city and I will micromanage the hell out of a demigorgon.
That sounds like something a demon would do for sure.
Yeah.
I can
Because
see
what's
that.
more annoying than being micromanaged by
Yeah,
someone?
that's pure hell.
Head
Bureaucracy?
of the
Come on.
demon coalition? Come on.
Well, so wait, Beelzebub is Lord of the Flies,
Yes, thank
right?
you.
And Satan would be Lucifer, the Morning Star.
Morningstar, yeah.
There are
The
multiple
fallen one.
Satans.
the
There are
vegetarian.
multiple Satans?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, just we talked about that. There's like Japanese Jesus, different kinds of Jesus, different kinds of Satan.
Jesus!
And name.
Oh, yeah.
Japanese
There you go.
Jesus?
That might be too controversial.
Oh, come on.
In Japan.
But anyhow, so when people run into this particular form of the Cadejo, these are the people who get truly cursed. If they encounter this form of the dog that is Satan, bad events, tragedy will definitely befall them.
Well, like, you gotta figure at some point it's bad luck to talk to a dog, especially if the dog's like making.
What?
If the dog's coming at you with like proposals and like he's got like
Proposals?
angles and like
Doc's projects are like how to make human happy.
right, exactly. If you're speaking to a dog and the subject matter audience, if you find yourself speaking to a dog and the subject matter is anything other than like fetch or food or just like hanging out in cuddles, then it's probably Satan. Black Cadejo.
Well, I mean, I have a personal belief
All
that I've
right.
held like pretty much since I was a child. If you're talking to a dog and they talk back, that's Satan. Yeah. If the dog actually says words to you,
if he's just
that
like,
is
hey.
Satan dog.
Thank you.
If he's just like, hey,
Depends on
can
the
I
word.
get some bacon?
Yeah, that's that might be Satan.
Well, no, that's universal language.
Phrase
That's
for a
universal
dog
language.
to learn.
So, again, with the origins of these spirits, probably one of the most popular versions I've done in my research that I've seen, comes from El Salvador. This talks about two brothers who are wandering, they're homeless, during a storm, and they encounter the house of a black magician. And
Wait.
Never
mind. Just keep going.
Black
Just keep going.
Black magic.
All right, just keep going.
Don't qualify it like that.
Yeah. Just keep going. Sorry.
So, during the storm, he asked the two brothers to help him gather firewood so that they can endure the length of it. They go out and they slack off on the job, but they also notice that he left the house, and while he is gone, they steal and eat his food. When the magician comes back and he finds out that some of the little bit of food that he had stored away for the storm is gone and that none of the work has been done, he puts a curse on the road that leads to the boys' villages. Voices bother the boys, and when they turn their backs on the voices, they get turned into creatures, a white cadejo and a black one. And after going back to their village in their curse form, they get kicked out and have no choice but to wander.
Wow.
But what interests me is that if you have the one evil and you have the one good, and so they balance each other out, your life would be exactly the same if you didn't encounter them. That's just like, what happened? Well, something bad almost happened, but then the white dogs happened.
Well, no, you have to
But they're
believe
not-
in the white cadejo, and then he saves you from the black one.
They don't always appear at the same time.
Oh, so you're like,
so
You're
it's
lucky
like a chance.
if they're both there at the same time.
Oh, okay. I thought they were just a pair.
No, they don't always appear simultaneously. And also, this is one of the freakiest points. In many cultures, the colors flip-flop. So you never know, depending on which folklore is in the community, if the white cadejo is the good cadejo,
Trixie
or the black
Cadejo
cadejo is the good
That's
cadejo.
insane.
Why,
right?
I oughta.
Damn.
You want to what? Punch a large dog that acts like a deer that might be Satan?
Whoa. Okay, everyone calm
Lot
down.
going on there.
Everyone calm down. Okay, everyone calm down.
So all I'm saying, guys, is that it's kind of lucky that we have both the cadejos here. If it's indeed is what these two dogs are that are kind of following us,
They're
they're kind
huge.
of dogging us, if you will, bees.
Who let these dogs out? Who?
Freaking out.
Who?
Might be the Bob.
That was awful.
Satan, probably, right? Satan
Why?
would know.
So
Oh, that's right. Well, at least
Oh, they're
one
taking
of
off.
them.
Look. Oh, they're taking off. They're taking off.
Hey, come here, buddy. Where'd they go?
They just ran off into the woods over there.
All right. Well, they're supposed to be protect. You said they're protectors, right?
Yeah,
And
well,
so
the
we
white
might be
one,
on
maybe.
like a demon highway sort of thing. So we probably could use some protection.
We are still pretty close to that graveyard.
Yeah.
I got a good feeling about this. We should follow those dogs.
Yeah. I think we should listen to her. She knows animals really
All
well.
right.
Yep.
Fair enough. You know what? I'm along for the ride at this point.
Oh, well, I mean, we
Should
got.
I get
Let's
in
detour over here.
tune with Mother Nature?
Did you
Absolutely.
drink that tea? Did you drink that tea that the
How
guy on
much
the
of
side
that
of the
tea?
road was selling?
I feel like I'm looking straight up in the sky right now.
You're
You're not.
actually laying down. You're not
Yeah.
moving.
You're
You're
looking
on
straight down.
Did you drink my gravy water I brought?
Oh no!
I don't think he drunk
For
gravy water.
I
special
don't think he's had it for a
occasions.
while.
I'm
Oh, guys.
swimming
Like,
though, right?
okay.
Oh, guys.
Manischewitz.
Who's gonna? Okay, Kaz, can you carry? Can you carry?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fritzy?
Am I swimming right now?
He's still kind of doing the swimming thing, but let me get a...
Now I'm on a boat.
There you go.
All right, let's
All
go
right,
follow
well-
the dogs. Maybe White Cadeo can help him out.
Yeah, okay,
Oh my
we're gonna go
God.
follow the white and the black Cadejo,
Can we get
and
one of those
hopefully
back and make a taxi? Come on.
can we Uber Cadejo? Is there an app for this anymore?
I don't think so.
All right, well, we're going to take a little break. We're going to go follow the Cadejo, and hopefully they're going to protect us from what evil is surrounding us, evidently, on this ghost highway of the damned. You're listening to Fort Fritz.
All right, I've had enough out of you. You've been talking all night. You're heavy as shit.
I mean, just the way you're carrying him around is really admirable. I mean, you have
Well,
a
I mean,
really a
he's-
whole brand
I feel like I'm
Hodor thing going
Superman.
on. It's
He's
nice. I like
he's
it.
tripping or whatever the hell's
yeah,
going
yeah.
on with
There's
him.
a problem. There's always a problem.
Right.
You're no one's hero.
I feel like I'm burning people with my eyeballs.
Oh, man. All right, where are we going,
I don't know if
Angela?
that's related. Where did those dogs go?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard him barking for a little while now.
All right, guys, we're fine. Come on, follow me.
Why do you know that?
Okay.
Just follow me.
She knows where she's going,
Why
but
do
we
you
are...
not trust me?
Yeah, you don't have to drop me on the ground like that so forcefully. I
Watch
can
out
walk.
for those roots. Watch out for
I
that
got-
rattlesnake, Fritz.
He's down.
over
He's
there.
down. He's
First
down.
it down.
Get him up. Get him up.
All right,
Come here.
come on, guys.
Put him back up there. Put him on, Kaz.
Left,
There we
here.
go.
Are you guys following me?
Yeah,
we're
we are.
following,
We're following you, but
we're
we're
following.
way off
Oh
the
my
highway here.
God.
We're way off the highway.
Are you guys here yet? We're at the creek.
Yeah.
I see this.
You gotta cross this slimy ass log.
Oh, why do we always have to do
Follow
this
me.
sort of daredevil stuff?
Shimmy, shimmy.
But, okay, wait.
Listen to me now.
Okay, wait a minute. She's stretching. She's stretching. She's about. And okay, wait. And she's going. Okay, she's going over. Hand over feet.
Yep.
Legs
Yep.
overhead.
Yep.
And double twist and off and perfect dismount. Oh my God, that was amazing. That was amazing. That was absolutely. I cannot
Thank
believe
you.
how that happened.
Angela and I, we've been working on this for a couple of months now. Thank
What are you talking about? I just threw you over the
You
creek.
never
Yep,
make it to
thank you.
practice, Fritz.
Uh-huh.
You're never there.
But I looked good, didn't I?
No, not at all. It was really
all right.
awkward.
I mean,
You don't have
Thank
parents
you.
that care about you. So,
All right, Nick, you're up next.
All right,
Cross that log.
I'm just gonna walk across. This is fine. Oh, I slipped my nuts.
oh my God.
Right on the perineum. Right on the perineum.
Bazinga!
Got that nut seam working. Oh, I can feel that. I can feel it.
Sweet on the balls. Yeah.
God.
I'm just going to walk across because it's only like a foot.
oh, thank God.
Okay, and there we go. All right, I'm on the other side. I'm
Hey,
good now. I don't even know why he went through all that, but man, that does not look good.
I hear weird. Do you guys hear that? What is that?
That might be my balls.
Could have been the balls popping.
I don't think it's your balls popping. It sounds more
Probably his
intelligent.
balls. It's probably his balls.
Yeah,
I'm not an
Sounds like someone
expert.
hit the heavy back.
Yeah, it sounds like
That's why I said that's
boxing.
like his balls, a heavy back.
Well,
Look
that
at-
would've
they're
been a light
swelling
back.
up. They're swelling up right now. They're at least 5 times their size.
Well, we made it to the barn. There it is.
There you go.
So
Thank
this is
God.
where you've been leading us the entire time.
A barn?
Yeah.
Wait.
barn.
No, that sounds louder. I get it. Hey guys, look. It's the two Cadejos. I totally forgot to tell you guys, one of the biggest aspects of these creatures is that they can stand on their hindquarters like a man, and they're known to throw very powerful and deadly
Right.
punches to let people know they're not a regular dog.
that is
They're
God.
regular
Jesus,
people.
that was
my
a-
God.
He's got
Wait a minute,
combos,
these
man.
aren't like kangaroos.
Yeah,
that's
he's
what
working
I'm
the
thinking.
body.
I just don't understand how they're landing these punches like this. This is the most exciting
Serious.
pugilistic event I've ever seen.
Oh my God. Guys, stop the fight. Oh, no,
That's-
they're not. They're going to keep punching themselves. They're going to keep punching
Yep,
themselves.
yep, the fight. Yep.
Yep.
They're not calling this fight.
No,
No.
it's going. It's
Too much
going right
pride.
now.
Too much
No.
pride.
Holy
This seems to be
crap.
going on for the ages.
This is really
Yes.
violent.
They're like slowly kind of fading away, though. They're still going at it, but like I'm kind of see
No,
right
no,
through
no,
them.
don't let them fade away. Don't let them fade away. What are they doing?
Ooh.
Fading away. I got money on this fight. I got money on this fight.
Dude, you gotta stop betting on this.
We just watched 2 upright dogs fighting and then fading into mist.
2017,
And
man.
Yeah, it's
that
a new
just-
world, man. You gotta like get ready for this.
That just
This is the
happened
new
in front
kind
of our
shit that goes down.
faces.
I just lost 10 grand.
I totally
Nick
expected
Spry,
that.
you've
I totally
really got to
expected that.
control that
problem.
I
gambling
have solved
issue.
my solvency
Holy crap.
issues.
You got
No,
a
you
problem.
obviously have not.
I have an idea. It's going to make me or break me. But the next eclipse comes up in
Break.
2045. I might be 65 years old, but I have went around and I bought up all of the proprietary licenses for eclipse glasses
Oh,
for the
that's
year
smart.
2045.
That's
It's going to be the total
super
eclipse of the sun. You don't know what I'm talking about, guys. The total Nick Spry trademark.
Trademark.
So I've got all my money put in that, and I'm going to make
Yeah.
$1 million bajillion dollars.
I like it.
Playing the long game.
All right,
Playing
well,
the long game. I
It's
like
smart.
that.
It's smart.
Life goals.
You guys see this trail of blood over here? Holy shit!
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
That's a lot of blood. That is a lot of
No, I
blood.
didn't see that. No.
Oh my God.
That is more than a rivulet. That's more than a dollop. That
It's at
is
least
a
a trail.
stream.
It's a stream. It's a
That
trail.
is- it has a current to it. That's really weird.
You think maybe it came from the Cadejo?
I
Do they
don't
look
I
like they were
don't think
bleeding?
there was that much
Oh,
blood
God,
going
no.
around. They looked like they were having a really,
The
know.
footprints kind of look like dog prints.
I don't like
know.
Thank you.
Guys, this bloody barn is freaking me out.
Why? Well, no,
Why would a
don't say
bloody
that.
barn freak you out? It's just a barn and a whole huge
Well, like of all
stream
the
of blood.
things that we've seen, right? Like it shouldn't be that big a deal. But
No.
you guys ever hear about the Hinter Kaifax murders?
No.
What?
It doesn't involve people being murdered in a barn because that'd be really fucked up.
Brutally murdered in a barn.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that is
March 31st,
messed up.
1922. The 6 inhabitants of the Gruber farm were brutally killed with a mattock.
What?
M-A-T-T-O-C-K.
Okay, and that is.
A pickaxe.
Jesus Christ.
God.
This took place in modern day Weidhofen, Bavaria, Germany.
Delicious.
The alleged date of the murders was March 31st, 1922. As we'll see throughout the story, investigation methods during the time were lacking by today's standards.
Yeah, I mean, even fingerprints probably weren't really a thing back
just like,
then.
wait, anybody see it happen? Nope, we'll never figure this one out. That's it.
Tensions run high in pretzel country.
Natural causes.
Text in your response as to who did it at 77.
You could
It's
text
just
back in the
77?
20s?
Yeah.
It would
I
just
had
be
no
7-7 though,
idea.
yeah. So the way that these murders were, the way that the bodies were discovered was in stark contrast to the, lacking investigation methods of the local police department there. The neighbor of the Gruber family was a little bit concerned that they had not performed their morning chores on Tuesday. And she came and knocked on the door to find out why.
And that's why we have homeowners associations.
She was also the
Nosy
original
bitch.
HOA
Damn.
manager.
She's the one who discovered them?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
I
Your
don't
goats
know.
look a little undusted. Those very dusty goats you have.
Dusty goats.
Dusty goats.
You have to
That's
dust
a bad
Someone
porn star name right
reported
there.
them.
That sounds like a farm chore, right? Dusting off your goats?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Goats get dusty, man. They're out there in the hay. They discovered the bodies on Tuesday, April 4th, which would have been about 4 days later. They again realized that they had been missing because the visible chores hadn't been done, and also one of the younger siblings had not been to school on that Monday or the Saturday before. Over the next 64 years, more than 100 suspects have been interviewed and questioned over the 64 years since the murder. The last questioning taking place in 1986. And they still have not found any evidence linking a person to this crime.
Just take your time.
Some of the more grisly aspects of the murder were that, first of all, the murderer apparently stayed in the house in the farm for several days after the murder. The neighbors reported seeing
Days?
Correct. The neighbors reported seeing smoke coming from the chimney. There had been evidence of food being cooked in the kitchen, and the cattle had been fed. So he did do some of the chores.
So it was a crime of circumstance kind of thing where it's like, well, not for nothing, I have this mansion now.
Yeah, he's like,
This entire farmland.
listen, it's not the cow's fault that I killed these people.
Right.
so-
Well, he wasn't there when they showed up, so I can't imagine that he thought he was going to get to take over the farm by having killed the current inhabitants, which
But he
would
kinda
be like
did.
the old way to take over, right? Like you just show up and kill everyone, and then it's your farm now. In 1920s Bavaria, though, they apparently had a little bit more of a judicial system in place. So he had to scram. He wasn't there when they found the bodies. The evidence of him being there, or they, was there, but one of the victims actually didn't die right away. Most of the victims were killed in their sleep as they were laying in bed between the hours of 12 a.m. and 5 a.m., they imagine.
Is that a good way to go, though? I mean, I've always had this discussion with different people. Is like, do you want to just go like all of a sudden you're just gone, or do you want to know you're going to die? I mean, is it better just to be laying there and all of a sudden you stop being?
I'd rather be wide awake unless I'm being murdered. That sounds like,
I agree.
Well, what
I'd
other
rather
thing would you be wide awake for
surrounded
your
by my
death?
loved
I
ones,
agree.
peacefully going,
Yeah.
unless someone is like, hey, I got this pickaxe. Guess what? It's your time, buddy.
That makes
Coming
sense.
for you.
Not-
That makes sense.
not what I,
so the short
long
answer
for.
would be depends on how you're going to die.
Yeah.
Long
TBA,
answer, short
TBD.
answer.
TLDR. So they killed the majority of the victims, died in their sleep in their beds. There was also evidence that the murderer went back and attacked some of the previous victims after they had already been dead for a while and hit them again with the pickaxe.
Post-mortem.
Just
He
gotta make
post-mortem
sure.
Added additional wounds to their
Correct.
bodies.
It begs the question, not only who, as they've been trying to find out, but why? Like, what was the cause? What was the motive for this murder? And several hypotheses have been put forward. One of the prevailing ones being that the man was after some money, that knew that the Grubers had a small amount of money and some valuables in their house. And it actually turns out that none of the money or valuables was removed. There was no robbery, and very little of the house was actually sort of disheveled. It was
Ransacked.
right, ransacked. It
I
was
love that term, ransacked.
exactly the
There
word.
was no fracas.
Other than what would have been caused by 6
Yes, correct.
murders with a pickaxe.
Other than that, it's a completely normal scene.
They got murdered in their house or in the barn?
They were murdered in their house.
Okay.
This could have been a transient person. One of the points that I saw that they'd found several cigarettes in the attic of the house, indicating that someone was waiting essentially for them to go to sleep to perform these murders.
Whoa.
I don't know. That could have just been a stressed out mom. Just like, kids, give me 5 minutes. Mommy will be right back. I'm going to go in the attic and just
Going to smoke a really stout Bavarian cigarette. 2 of them, in fact. Yeah. Leave me alone. There was a little bit of, I guess, mystery around.
A little bit?
Other than the whodunit, there was allegedly one of the younger Grubers was the product of an incestuous relationship, if you could call it that, between the father and one of the daughters.
Ooh.
Okay.
And according to the local court and some of the local townsfolk, a neighboring farmer named Lorenz Schlittenbauer had publicly claimed to be the boy's father in order to, I guess,
cover it
to
up,
dissuade, any kind of like looking into.
Did he name him Jon Snow?
To avoid blackmail situation. He or
well, so this man
him to publicly be the father of this child.
Correct. I guess they didn't want. They had organized some type of agreement with this person so that he would pretend to be the father of this child, when in fact it was not so.
Huh.
But the interesting thing about this guy was also one of the first people to quote unquote stumble across the dead bodies, along with a neighbor, and was alleged to have disturbed some of the bodies in the crime scene before the police arrived.
He was like, what, poking him with sticks and stuff?
Well, I don't know.
I'm just going to play some U2 really loud. Is that disturbing?
Everybody look over there. So, this Lorenz Schlittenbauer allegedly disturbed some of the bodies in the crime scene, had some type of motive, depending upon whose encounter or account of the story you take, but they questioned him several times over the years following the murder and never found any evidence to link Lorenz Schlittenbauer to the murders.
Makes a great malt liquor, though.
Schlittenbauer?
Schlittenbauer's a really good malt liquor. It's very smooth, very smooth.
So this is basically a crime scene where there is not much evidence. There's a lot of hearsay, and they continued to investigate it for 64 years?
Correct.
And how could they find 100 people that would give witness to something that happened in
over that span of time?
They questioned over 100 suspects.
That's crazy.
And the numbering people just...
How many people hated these people?
Well, it was
like, it could have been anybody. We all wanted to pickaxe them. We all wanted to.
It was like transient people who had like wanderers and people who had no real, like they were just interviewing, like trying to just canvas, like, who could have possibly done this. And never apparently got any closer.
It's also, very just a couple years after World War I, the country's in shambles. There's probably a lot of transient people just wandering around, making little hobo signs like this place has good
sketchy
sausage,
transient German wanderers.
They do good bindle repair.
Yeah,
nice.
All it takes too is like one geographic area to be inundated with phone calls to 911. Yeah, I saw that one thing, and then like the folklore happens with
mass
the moth.
hysteria.
Yeah,
actually, the investigation extended into 2007 was the latest discussion about it. The students, and I'm quoting from the article, the students at the Police Fachschule in Fürstenfeldbruck tried to go at the case with sort of modern crime scene investigation techniques, and they concluded that so much of the crime scene had degraded, so much of the evidence had degraded. And
46 or 64 years
64 years later.
64 years will do that.
They basically just said, no, there's no way.
There's no more blood on this straw because there's no more straw for the blood to be on.
They did say, though, despite the setbacks of the deterioration of the evidence and the crime scene, that the students at this police academy, as they were sort of researching a cold case, they did name a prime suspect, but declined to name him out of respect for the still living relatives.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. It just boggles my mind that there was such interest. Is it the fact that the police force is so efficient in Germany and Bavaria that they solve all these murders? So there's this one cold case that they just can't let go.
I feel like it's particularly
74, it's 84. It's, God, what is it? 1922.
64, yeah.
It's almost 100 years later now.
It's true.
Yeah. I think the the combination of how grisly it was, the fact that it involved children, and it was an entire family, and it was completely devoid of like a real suspect.
Right, but
I
we've
think
talked about other grisly murders that have
And
happened in
random
Germany.
grisly
Why
murders.
this one case? I just wonder.
I don't know. Only time will tell.
All right, that's it. You know, let's just wrap this up. Obviously, we can't agree on anything. I thought we could.
Wait, no, we could totally agree on things. I don't
We're
understand why
stuck at
we're
this
totally agreeing on
interstate.
things.
Nobody is going anywhere.
Nope.
All right.
Well, the fact that we're not only no longer on an interstate, we're actually in a barn by now, and we've actually been walking for a while. Remember, you didn't have to walk. You got carried by Kaz. I think you have a whole thing of a time lapse that's going on. You don't remember much of what's going on, which is pretty much par for the course.
That is.
I mean, we were trapped on I-4. We found out about a dead zone, which is now going on. There's a possibility of a hurricane barreling down on us because of us messing with a grave out in Sanford.
It's fine.
I mean, and then we started finding out more and more about these black and white dogs that are there to protect
dogs.
us. And we had white and black dogs protect us, and they led us to a barn, and they were boxing in front of us, and there's a pile of blood, and then we find out that there's a barn. A whole family got axe picked to death, and you think everything's fine. It's actually, it's not fine at all. We need to go. Right now is the first time ever I want to go back to Fort Fritz, okay?
You know what?
This is more terrifying. I would rather go back to Fort Fritz.
I second
go
that.
to hit the chicken place. Let's hit the chicken joint and go back to Fort Fritz and have some gravy water.
Hey, I heard that Sabrina was doing a Uber Eats from the chicken joint. She's doing that.
Oh, nice.
Maybe we can get her like a combo ride meal.
There you go, man. Hit two birds with one stone, and one of those birds will be a chicken.
Take like a van back to the fort and maybe get a bucket of chicken.
I'm down.
Wrap it up, kid.
All right, I got it. We got Waze. All right, Waze gets us out of all the traffic. You guys got it?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we're done. All right, thank you for listening. This is Fort Fritz. I'm Angela. Nick Spry.
Hi.
Fritz.
Hello.
Man Daddy.
Bye.
Kaz. Find us on Libsyn, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube. And our email is mooncasttroop, that's TROUPE, @gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Don't be spooky, but actually be really spooky.
Yes.